Good morning, Andrew. How are you?
Hi, Chris. I'm good. Yeah, no, I'm well. Well, that's the first automatic answer that everyone says. I'm good, and then they go, "Wait a minute,
Autopilot.
is this when we tell the truth?" Or
I know. Well, as well as I can be. I'll just do a quick intro to why we're doing these vlogs just now, Andrew. It's about talking about business continuity. It's talking about all the positives, if there is any that we can sort of take from this. Today, I'm obviously interviewing yourself, but my name's Chris Lowden. I'm the commercial director at 920 Recruitment. We're a boutique recruitment company based in the city centre of Glasgow, specialising in technology and digital, as well as engineering and manufacturing. Andrew, maybe a short introduction from yourself.
Yeah, so thanks for having me, Chris. Hi, everyone. So I'm Andrew Dobbie. I am the founder of a creative brand agency, usually based in Glasgow, now based in our bedrooms, called Made Brave. Made Brave is a creative brand agency. We have a team of just under 40 at Made Brave. We have got sort of designers, developers, marketing teams, strategists, and a whole sort of bunch of creative people. And then also we have a content agency over in Edinburgh called Campfire. And Campfire make brand films for brands and usually travel all around the world to do so.
A bit restricted just now.
Yeah.
No, totally. Look, I suppose the things, it's quite obvious what I want to focus on today. I've already done a couple of these last week. How have you found the last few weeks, Andrew? It's been a bit unprecedented, shall we say?
Yeah, I think we all go through different phases, and I remember sort of first of all sort of coming to the realization that there was something happening, and I suppose for a little while I sort of denial is probably the first one that most people do. Oh, it'll never affect us. It's okay. No, it's and then I remember that night in bed sort of thinking about it a little bit more and thinking, wait a minute, what if your whole team is ill or are not able to work, then you don't have a company, and that I think that was probably the first catalyst of thought for me. And then I suppose from there we went into kind of action mode at Made Brave and very quickly decided, look, we need to get half the team or home, and we split our company at that point into kind of three groups, which we thought was the right move at the time. We felt like let's get rid all the vulnerable people. Let's make sure they're protected and they're not in the office. Then we thought we could do a sort of cycle of two teams. That lasted 2 days, and my spidey senses went off, and I thought, no, actually everyone needs to go home completely. So literally 2 days later from making that decision, we sent everyone home. And that weekend, I think I probably went into panic at that point, and fear, and kind of and I think that's quite normal for anyone watching this. If you're currently at that stage where you're realizing the impact that this might have on your business or your livelihood, that it's okay to have fear and panic, and it's part of the process. So I think at that time, I think I was out for dinner with friends, and the realization came, and I had tears running down my face because I just felt so overwhelmed with that kind of understanding of you've got 50 people's livelihoods and what that might mean. But since that moment, I then kind of almost kind of grieved for the business at that point. But then I realized with support from my wife and friends, that came out the other side, found some purpose, and then realized that the only way to get out of this is to be positive, to be proactive, agile, and to adapt. So
I think, all hats off totally to you, Andrew. I think you've been one of the shining examples throughout on, because I think you're almost looking at the stages of grief there. And I suppose with yourself though, you really have sort of been a shining light and led by example online. So hats off to you for that. And thank you for keeping a lot of us sane in a lot of ways. So, I appreciate that, and I totally understand your comments. I think we felt very similar. However, I think we're all in the same boat, and I think we're all there for each other. I think this is going to bring us closer together, and from a human nature point of view, I think we'll come out a lot stronger on the end of this, on the back end of this. Okay, so I think your company, as you already highlighted, were one of the first ones to lead the way as well. You were on XTV. You were obviously trying to implement change straight away and react as quickly as you could. How have you found working as a creative agency over the last 2 weeks? Have you still been able to operate in a certain capacity?
Yeah. So, I suppose like everyone, we've had a lot of projects cancelled. A lot of our work is film production and, on location shooting and, that type of stuff. And
Yeah.
that side of the business, that kind of work dried up overnight almost. We also had a lot of the other projects at Made Brave that were pushed out or were now no longer relevant in today's world. So no longer required, as you can imagine. So we've gone through the kind of how do we deal with that? But what I also started to realize is that there's other opportunities here as well, and we've now fortunately had a couple of briefs come in that we're seeing. Oh wait a minute, there's work, but there's a different type of work, and I think you have to, we're quite fortunate as an agency. We already had a lot of the tools in place in terms of like working on Google Drive and, Slack and all these things that we were able to adapt maybe a little bit quicker than everyone else. And maybe that's, STV picked up and asked us to share that story. And we thought, well, if we can help inspire some other people how to do it and share some of that knowledge, then it can only be a good thing. So we were able to adapt quite quick, and we can fortunately do a lot of what we do remotely. However, we are, as I say, we're not, what I'm definitely saying to my team is, look, we can't rely on the services we always have done or rely on any strategies that we had at the beginning of the year. The world changed as of 2 weeks ago, so everything needs revisited and we looked at. So, and I'm kind of saying the same things to clients, is that don't just, just because you've done your away day last month, with just your management team, your leadership team, and you've set a strategy for the year, don't think that you need to deliver on that. The trick is to revisit everything as of daily and react daily. Look at any always on ads that you've got just now. And look, are they relevant in today's world? Is the tone of voice right on them? Can you change them? Can we adapt them, or do we turn those off and we kind of pivot how we're communicating as a business? So
pivot's a perfect word for it. I think vast majority of the clients I've spoken to, it's about reacting and pivoting to what is the need at the moment. So look, I think you've been, as I highlighted earlier, you've been active online, heavily supporting everyone, but you've created the creative industries, the COVID-19 creative industry support group. I think that's been fantastic for the creative industries sector up here. Do you want to tell us a bit about that and the idea behind it?
Yeah, well, I think, to your point you just mentioned a minute ago, is like, you need to adapt, you need to change, you need to do things that are relevant for just now and things that people need. And that comes in terms of the service offering for clients, but also kind of wider community. And, you see people now changing their services and putting those out. Now, instead of doing that straight away, I believe you should ask people, what do they need, and figure out what they need, and then either sell them that or give them that. And, I spotted with the creative community that, myself included, that we had no one to lead us, no one to move forward. And just now more than ever, we need leaders and we need people and we need focus. And, I just had a thought in my head, look, guys, would it be helpful if we had a group, we had one place to share the challenges that we're facing, also share any opportunities that we spot. And, I just believe in times like this that community rather than competition is what gets you through. And so I literally put a post out on LinkedIn and said, look, would this be helpful, and what platform would be helpful on? And, I got inundated with comments and DMs. And so I set the LinkedIn group, and yeah, I mean, it's had, I think over 2,500 people have joined it over the last couple of weeks. We've also then, we started to have people reach out to me that wanted to support and help. And Creative Entrepreneurs Club, which used to be Cultural Enterprise Scotland, they said, look, Andrew, we'll give you a platform, we'll give you some support. And, my team have worked with theirs. And then we asked everyone, what do you want? And people wanted a job board. They wanted one place to know where they could find jobs. But also people just needed, if you imagine, if you're a freelancer right now, It's quite easy in a team. You've got a full team to support you, and you've got, you've someone leading that team. You've got all your peers to nurture and help you. But if you're a freelancer and your pipeline has dried up overnight, that can be a very, very daunting experience. And so I kind of thought, well, if I can give these guys a place, with some leadership, with some support. So, we've put like 6 or 7 of the Made Brave team in that group to moderate and help and support. Then, well, those guys feel like they're being looked after. They start to help each other. We help them if we can. And hopefully that peer-to-peer support starts to happen, and it just gives everyone a place to have a voice and talk about what they need. And then my thought was, the more of that we can create, the bigger a sort of tribe or collection of people, then we can use that to lobby the government, to show them that there's a voice here and there's a group that need looked after. And if no one did that, it would just be, 1,000 people or 2,500 people panicking on LinkedIn. Yeah. So it's to try and give a little bit of focus, a little bit of clarity, and kind of to move together as one.
It's 100%, and you can see that. And also, what's been great is the advice you're constantly giving. Yesterday, you did a piece on the 12 practical ideas to generate income for freelancers, creative freelancers at the moment. So there's all these pieces that are coming out, and it's beautiful to see. And like just a short statement from 920, and I know my business partner Gordon has been in touch with you previously, but if anyone that's posting jobs on your support group at the moment, 920 will offer an advertising solution totally for free for everyone there as well, and we'll push that content out also to support across our job boards and our own network, should we say? All right. But okay. So that side, I think it's an important piece. Do you see any positives coming out from this? I know you've obviously focused on the piece where you've centralised it. There's with regards to the support group, the government can actually see that there's a group there of people and they're getting their voice heard a bit more. But see, working from home, do you think you think everyone will have to adapt going forward after the pandemic ceases to exist?
Yeah, I think there's it won't work for every business, and it won't work for every team. Sometimes you do just need that human contact. You need to be in a room together. You need to feel the energy that you get in a room with human beings. However, we'd always planned in our businesses to, we just recently moved office into a really nice studio that we don't get to use now. We always knew that potentially the lease was longer. We would grow out it in terms of quicker than the lease, if that makes us like 8 years, a 5-year break, but we'd be too big by that point. So we had always planned to have a bigger team than what was the office could facilitate. So have, let's say, you've got a 50 people office, but you've got a workforce of 70 or 80 people that can work and adapt. So I think the good thing for us is there's a lot of, or a positive is that there's a lot of learning that we would have to have gone through and tried and tested, but this has given us that opportunity to do it very quickly and to understand how we're going to work remotely. So I think a lot of businesses will find that. I spoke to another friend that has a business that he basically realized, wow, we don't actually need the huge office that we've got. We're working probably better, just now. And it gives people that flexibility, which is important in today's world. So they're talking about potentially taking an office space that's half the size of what they currently have. And, obviously if you can save that in rent, you can then pay your team more. You can then, you can have a nicer office that's half the size or all the benefits that come from that. So yeah, I think, out of every challenging situation, although it may be hard to see it when you're right in the moment, there's going to be some positives. There's going to be some learning that come off the back of it that stand you in good stead in the future somehow.
No, 100%. I think Gordon and I have been having those conversations already about a smaller office. So no, I totally understand that and get where people are coming from. I suppose there's lots of pieces there as well to take from that. Is there one message you want to maybe push out there to the creative industry at the moment in terms of sticking together, in terms of where you see it going now?
Yeah, I think if I was leaving a message for for everyone, it's back to that community, not competition. I think,
Yeah.
you know, it's really a time to look after people. You know, you never know what people are going through when you see them online, and you know, people can be quite mean online, and they can you know, I think it's really important to understand that behind usernames, behind social media profiles, there's real human beings, and now so more than ever, you know, these, you know, human beings, ourselves included, are going to be going through challenges with potentially their own health, their family's health, grief of a business, grief of a loved one, and everyone's just trying to do their best, you know, their best thing to positively move forward. So I think, you know, a message to people is to, you know, to be kind to people, to you know, to look after people, and reach out to anyone that you know that's struggling. I mean, mental health, I've noticed my mental health over the last couple of weeks has done this. And, you know, I had people reach out to me to support me. They're kind of reading between the lines of social media posts. And, you know, and I think it's important to do that for one another. And it's important to know to ask for help, and to let people know if you're struggling or panicking, or, you know, it's natural, as we talked about earlier. There's natural emotions that we're all going to go through. And there's a lot of great support out there in terms of NABS, NABS, is a mental health charity that are specifically geared towards looking after the creative industries. So they have a lot of people. You can just get on the phone to them, and you can talk through challenges that you're having, and you just want a listening ear. Also on the creativeentrepreneursclub.co.uk platform, we have a lot of people on there offering one-to-one support. So you know, if you've got challenges and you just don't know how to deal with them, and whether that's finance, recruitment, you know, all sorts of you know, parts of your business, or you just want a listening ear, helping ear to talk you through something, you know, you can jump on there and you can book a free session with people to talk. So just, yeah, talk to people, be kind, and make sure you're letting people know if you're struggling.
No, look, that I think that's an important message. And what we'll do as well, Andrew, is we'll make sure we have links tonight, all of these, when we release this vlog later on this afternoon. Okay, well, look, I think, you know, thank you for your time, and hopefully we'll see more TikToks with your son coming up next week. They've been fantastic, by the way. Have you enjoyed?
Yeah, well, we'll get a couple of those planned today. So they take a hell of a lot more time than you think, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
Oh, you look at something, you're like, oh, right, I've got an idea here. And then like 4 hours later, you're like, do it again.
Totally get it.
It's good. You know, it's also an important point there, actually. That's a good one to maybe leave it on for people as well. Is like, make sure you're getting some time to do things, you know, that are fun for you, fun for your family. That's another benefit that comes out of this. Often a lot of us that travel around all over the world, or, you know, busy day to day, we don't get to see our families as much. You got that opportunity. So hold on to that and nurture that, and do stuff that just makes your heart sing. Like, you know, for me, the TikTok stuff, it's a chance to do something creative with my son, which, you know, keeps me alive and keeps me, you know, you know, my heart ticking in a happy, positive way. So.
Great. No, it's been great to watch them. Been great to watch. I look forward to the new ones. Well, look, thanks again for your time, Andrew. This will be live this afternoon, and as I said, we'll share all the information that you've mentioned today in the comments section and on YouTube. But yeah, I'll be following up with a number of other interviews. Following on from this, there'll be an interview with a leading accountant. There will also be a CEO of an IT infrastructure business, Mark Gibson. Wait and see. We'll be doing more. But thanks again for your time.
Thanks for having me. All right.
Andrew,
thanks, Chris.
Bye.
Cheers.